All right, shalom, shalom. Just double check, make sure we're good. Anybody got the notification?
Yeah, I got it just now.
All right, you got it? All right, come.
Yep.
Hey, first and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rafak Dash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutation and much love to you, Akim, pushing out his word in truth, sincerity, day in, day out, every week, presenting yourself as a living sacrifice on the highways and byways. And much love as well to the men, women, and children learning in sincerity. But we're the brothers from Great Millstone Tampa back for another weekly sit down, as well as going to be edifying. We're going to go into some current events, okay? And go ahead, brothers, take off, and I'll pull up those articles.
All right, pretty much what's taking place right now, you got the wars. Somebody want to get Matthew 24 real fast. That's pretty stuff. We got wars, rumors of wars really taking off right now. And, we know the RFID chip mark the beast, which we went into a lot of that last week. It has to be implemented before this actual war can pop off. If somebody get an idea of 9 chapter where speak about fuel burning fuel to fire. Yeah. So before all those things take place, chip got to be implemented, of course. But this is growing up. It's like prepping. All right. The scripture let all things be done peacefully and in order. All right. So it's preparation for the Third World War. Okay. And as we see the current events, as the brother titles, topics, various topics. That's what's pretty much big in the news right now. And, we get this from all alternative media, sources outside of pretty much like the mainstream, because the mainstream is still, they still got the proper propaganda going on. But, behind the scenes, man, it's a Third World War brewing. All right. And America is losing its position of power. So right now they're trying to boot up and protect that. And it's going to lead to a world war. All right. Without further ado, somebody get the Matthew 24.
It's Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but then it's not yet.
So see that ye be not troubled. All right. So when we see those things, we're not troubled. Lord say, for all these things must come to pass. Well, that's going to usher in the kingdom. Okay. So when we welcome, all right, when we see shooting and pretty much raising up against the beast and the horse, all right, we rejoice, if you will.
Right. And real quick, the scriptures also say, ye that be troubled, come rest with us. So if you are troubled and you're worried about these things and you're coming across this truth, hey, come rest with us, man, because we're the scripture says the truth shall set you free, man. And when you standing and you're watching and observing what's happening here on the earth, okay, you understand more and more as things become more clear to you that this is the will of the Heavenly Father being done, and you'll be put at ease. That trouble will go away. Okay, because like I said, for all these things must come to pass. So there's not going to be nothing that maybe if I pray enough it won't happen. No, man, these things will come to pass. The will of the Heavenly Father will be done, not ours. Okay. It says, verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
So if you knew to this Israelite, to this doctrine, you just coming into the truth, you might have heard, that's been written before. They thought it was gonna happen during the Cold War. Wars and rumors of wars that they was just at the end, or they thought that was gonna happen way back then. All right, well now we're in a time where technology has advanced. We were talking about the missiles that now they have weapons of mass destruction. All right, weapons 1,000, if not more, times stronger than what they dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All right, in Japan.
Right.
Okay.
Just going to Joel chapter 3, the nations are weak. They're saying that now because now they have these capabilities that Esau once had only to himself. Okay, so now we're starting to see the shift in powers happening globally, and it's not just leaning to one side of the spectrum anymore. Okay, now it's leaning toward a lot more other nations outside of Esau, Edom, especially here in Babylon. Okay, and you also have Russia, which is what we're going to get into, being a guard onto the nation, to a lot of these weaker nations, and supplying them with military weapons, and basically in preparation for what is coming, which is prophecy.
If I may add that the Lord said that he that layeth the snare shall fall, or he that diggeth the pit shall fall therein, right? Well, Esau, Edom was the ones that created the weapons of mass destruction, but now you have these heathen countries, right? Elam, Ishmael, Moab, so on and so forth, that have nuclear capabilities, right? But who made them? Who gave them to them? Who sold them weapons of mass destruction to them? Who made the missile defense systems? It was Esau. So no matter how you want to put it, these nations, that's why they're saying they're strong, because Esau fell into his own trap, and the Lord's going to get him like that, because obviously Russia, UK, Germany, what else? France, all these Edomite countries, predominantly, you Google Europe and whatever, all these countries that are ran by Edomites on the face value anyway, they have nuclear capabilities, but guess what? They gave it to the heathens as well. So now that's why the weak are saying they're strong. Why is Iran saying they're strong? Because Russia sold them nukes. Talking about they have plutonium and uranium and all. Who the fuck gave him that shit, man? It was Esau. So he's falling into his own trap or his own pit that he dug. All right.
I got a quick one to go with that. This is Isaiah 54 and verse 16. It says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy." So the Lord has created them to become these destroyers. Okay, to create these instruments for the destruction that's coming. Ultimately, like it states in the book of Revelation, to kill the third part of men, which is Esau himself. Okay, so the Lord created the smith to destroy, and the Lord is using that same instrument, like the brothers have been saying, to destroy himself.
Well, Jeremiah says, "I know that it is not in man to do his will."
Jeremiah 10.
Jeremiah 10, yep. I know that the way of man is not in himself. There it is. There. So the Lord is, like the brother's going into, man. The Lord is the times that we're living into and living in right now. Is the Lord is putting it on these chief men in high positions to pretty much fulfill His will, man. And that ultimate will of Yahweh Shemel Shai is to obliterate, all right, Babylon the Great, and that's what you people really don't understand. Man. That everybody wants to rule next, but the ultimate rulership that's coming is the government of Yahweh Shemel Shai, and that's why the scriptures say in Micah 4 chapter that all these nations are going to flow into the kingdom of Yahweh Shemel Shai.
And it's real quick, you say that, and the brother brought out the Isaiah scripture with the waster to destroy, that, and that waster ultimately we know it being the nuclear destruction, the missiles, but the waster also goes into Esau Edom himself. This man is a destroyer, and now that destructive mentality has seeped over into the other nations to his detriment. All right, this isn't going to benefit Esau at all, just because you got greedy and you sold all these weapons to these different countries. It's ultimately going to backfire not just on you, but again, the whole world's going to have to suffer, and then that's when the kingdom of our Lord comes.
A perfect example is they have Esau makes different movies of you got the top guy that's treating his like say he's a mob or whatever in the movie, so to say he's the leader of the mob or whatever. He's treating everybody like shit. What happens when a hero comes and comes to the boss and he presents an opportunity to all the niggas that been following him? What they gonna do? They gonna turn on the boss. So this is what you see that's going on with Esau, as Obadiah says, all the men that were confederate with thee. You know what I'm saying? Right. All these niggas about to turn their backs on you because here it is, you've been giving them weapons and this and that, which mainly is speaking of America, of course, because everybody's gonna turn on America. All the Edomites gonna turn on the America. That's a fact, according to the scriptures. But it is it's like all right, let me oops. Are we still live? Okay.
It's the
Okay, okay. Go ahead, brothers. Hey, Kanakla, let me know when you want that the article too. Like
You
it's,
picked out a few excerpts out of there. Or-
yeah, Salakia, hold on, my computer's going. Y'all can still hear me?
yeah, you're fine. You just put the brother scripture on the screen. That's-
Yeah, I don't know what. Okay, we're back. Okay, all right, go ahead, Kanakla. You want me to put it up now? Salak. Okay, go ahead.
Matthew 24 real quick. Yeah, just read.
This is Matthew chapter 24, starting at verse 6. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Because a lot of things have to happen, all right, before this third. The missiles being kicked off, man, being shot from the ends of the earth, as quoted in the Esdras. A lot of things have to happen before that takes place. So you're gonna hear these wars and rumors of wars, but the end is not yet. So we can't be like, oh shit, that's it. Russia finna shoot missiles on America, and everything else ain't happened yet. All the other plagues and famine and death and civil unrest and sedition. All those things have to happen before this war ultimately kick off. But the scriptures say, measured all the time diligently within itself. So if we see war is coming, is this close, then that should let you know, well, shit, the sedition, the Arpadichia, all the other plagues must be even at the doors, because this third world war is so close.
Yep.
Exactly. So that's how you measure the time.
And if I may add real quick, it really is already begun, because the scripture on a low level, of course, not all of the countries are in it. America's not in it to a certain degree, because America really is already in it. But it's been going on for, I dare say 20, 25 years. When they invaded Iraq in the first Desert Storm, they invaded was it Iraq? First Desert Storm? Kuwait. The second Desert Storm was when they invaded Iraq. All right, then they invaded Afghanistan. So that's the Valley of Yehoshaphat. So a lot of things have been, it's been happening, but it hasn't been declared world war, because you got wars everywhere. Really, India, Pakistan, they going beefing. China, Taiwan, they beefing. A lot of wars are actually taking place, and rumors of war. All right, but it hasn't been, it hasn't been brought out to the point where every nation's in it, so to say. You go to the death list, so to, World War I, World War II, and you'll go through the list of the countries. There's fucking countries you don't even know about on that list of people that died in battle or whatnot. So, it's a buildup. So it's not World War III, but the beginning stages have already come. We're past the beginning stages of World War III. Just like in World War I, World War II, there was a buildup to it. America didn't get involved to 1919 in World War I believe. I could be mistaken. Somebody could check the actual dates. But the World War was already happening before America got involved. World War II, same thing. Before America got involved, the war was already happening. Hitler was invading countries before America got in there. America came in damn near towards the end of it. And it's the same shit that's going to happen again. Even though America is really the one, the hammer of the earth, going around dropping bombs. People, matter of fact, Biden just dropped bombs in Iraq. Talking about the Iraqi militants. So this is happening. It's not at this point. It's not rumors anymore. It's wars. Okay, and then we hear about rumors in the form of these different things that are taking place right now. Okay, with the big dogs, Russia, America, China, Iran. So now you see the whole picture coming together. But you want me to bring out that the article out, or you got another preset?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Back in Matthew chapter 24, verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, for there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And that's what we see happening, the kingdoms against kingdoms. These different nations, the different countries coming up against each other, the kingdom of Esau versus the kingdom of Esau, because Satan's house is divided. But you also got the Edomites, you know, the nation of not the nation, but Persia or the Iranians in America and Israel and Iran, you know, and so on and so on, you know, with China as well. Okay, that's kingdoms against kingdoms, right? Nations versus nations. We've already been seeing that for the longest. And that's you know, Edomites, Israelites, Ishmaelites, Edomites, you know, all that stuff, man. But that's what we see happening. And again, Yahweh Shai told us what we happening in the end of the time. And that's why we're going into these current events, you know, because you got it out with the article.
Okay, come. I'll put it up. You got it, Kanakala, though. I'll put it up real quick. Okay.
Article from RT, it says, even if Russia had sunk British warship, it wouldn't have started World War III because U.S. and U.K. know they can't win such a conflict with Putin. That was just a statement, man, and that's a bold statement. You know, he's pretty much talking shit because what happened was that ship was like and headed toward like Russian territory and somewhere they ain't supposed to be. Just the whole synopsis of it. And Russia just was dropping bombs in front of his direction, like telling like, look, you know, you can't come here, okay? And you know they on the media they said that never happened. That video surfaced and showed that actually did happen. So Britain and America they denied it, but the videos came out and showed. You know, why is that? Because you know they didn't want to look weak in the sight of the world, so they say no, that never happened. But it did happen. Videos came out and showed it, and pretty much what Russia is saying, like, look, even if I did sink that ship, you couldn't win a conflict. You couldn't beat me anyways. you know. So hey, man, that's the stand right there, man. Ezekiel the 38th chapter in full effect. Anytime anybody got
yeah, I quoted right. I get the point though, going into Putin as the character the Lord's going to use, you know, to ultimately push this whole thing forward for the Lord's program, which is World War III, you know, which we ultimately know is all from the prophecy. Here's Ezekiel 38, and I'll start at verse 10. You have it?
Yeah.
What do you believe?
Just a quick Proverbs 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Yahweh Shai, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
Hey, that's why I said in the 13th chapter, it says the Lord musters the host of the battle. You know, when he musters something, that's ultimately a military thing. It means you're gathering military troops. You know, so ultimately that the host that the Lord's bringing going into this World War III is these other nations that we're going to go into the 38th chapter. And Russia has a heavy part in, so that's why you always hear about Russia and America, Western America. And then ultimately, when I think about something like this with these UK ships, and Obadiah says, they of thy confederacy have deceived thee, you know, because ultimately they could be winking at each other, you know, the UK ships out there talking about act like we don't like each other, you know, because ultimately, again, we're not well, at least not yet, you know, the Lord's going to put the spirit on them to turn against so-called America. You know, it says all that lovers have deceived thee. I think that's Jeremiah, you know, because ultimately these curses that are upon us are upon Esau, you know, and all the lovers are the ones that have been doing good for so-called America.
And to back you up, that's why the Bible is heathen rage. So the Lord is putting, and that's why we're going to go into. The Lord is going to put thought in these nations to also come up against them, man. And that's what the so-called Edom is so greatly afraid of, man. He actually seeing the prophecies coming to pass. These nations are backing out. Here it is. You have like 20-something nations, or 20-something countries, if you will, that are pretty much denouncing the dollar bill, man, are pretty much getting rid of the dollar. Okay, so these are all these. Then right here in Babylon the Great, right here in the States, you have the same people who are oppressed standing on their feet in great boldness, man. So all these things that are taking place, all these prophecies that come to pass, this man is losing his mind, you know.
Going into the book of Luke 21, verse 31. So likewise ye, when you see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of the things that have to happen for the end. It's showing you that these are the times that we're in, showing you that the kingdom is not. All right, it's showing you that what these princes, they will be dropped on America, or it's showing you that we are at the end. All right, so the kingdom is nigh at hand.
And that's how we know, the Lord's getting ready to come back. 5 and 6 will be coming. You're not old. God get this. This is just testimony, man, and the Heavenly Father, man. You know? But going into that Ezekiel 38, starting at the top, states, and the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Okay? That Gog and Magog, okay, going into that ancient land, which is now what? Known as Russia. Okay? And who's occupying that? Them Edomites that are calling themselves the Russians. Right? Okay? So it says, verse 3, and say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. See, so the Lord isn't just against Babylon and he's using these other nations to destroy it. The Lord is against them too. Okay, because what? Joel chapter 3, if brother wants to get it real quick, where I think it's verse 2, gather the nations down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, because the Lord is coming to judge all the nations. He's gathering up all these nations. Why? Because he's against them all, man. Okay, matter of fact, with that, and brother also wants to get that in Ezekiel chapter 5. Even I am against thee. Perfect phrasing. Get that in Joel chapter 2. It should be in Joel chapter 3, right at the top.
All right, it's the book of Joel chapter 2.
Just verse 2.
Oh, verse 2 is that
Chapter 3, verse 2.
Oh, it's the book of Joel chapter 3, verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
Right. So the valley is Jehoshaphat's out there in the Middle East, which is where we see everything happening, man. Okay, the brothers were just talking about going back to Desert Storm, and even way before that. Okay, Esau was starting to get up in there in the Middle East, man, with Afghanistan and these other nations over there. But really, it started getting heavy during the late 80s, early 90s, up to the points of where we're at now. That's that valley of Jehoshaphat, man. Okay, and it says what? To plead there with all nations. The word plead there in the Hebrew is shaphat, which means to judge. The Lord ain't going to come back and be like, all right, you guys, what can we do? I mean, you guys did this to me. No, the Lord ain't coming to try to negotiate with these people, man. He's coming to destroy these nations, man. Why? Because of our people and what they did. That's why you see all those nations being gathered up over there. Ammon. What the hell Ammon got to do with in the Middle East? It's the Spirit of the Lord that hopped up on them, man. All these nations are being gathered over there because the Lord is going to judge them, man. The Lord is against these nations, and He's for Israel. He's for His people. That's why the Lord is building us up, and He's bringing them down.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said the Lord said He got a. I think it's in that. It might be in that chapter. Got a controversy against the heathen or the nations.
Yeah, I think it's that Joel somewhere. Got that?
Yeah. Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 8. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, even I am against thee, and will execute judgment in the midst of thee in the sight of the nations.
See? So the Lord is going to judge, and now ultimately the Lord is going to judge America in the sight of all these nations, but all these nations are going to be getting judged, man. Because not only America ain't just going to be getting bombarded by missiles and they not sending theirs off, these nations are going to get theirs too, man. It's just the main destruction is going to be towards America, man. And that's why the other nations are going to turn their backs, like the brother was saying. They might be just faking the fun to make it look good on paper. So, hey, because what? Obadiah tells you, they that were confederate with thee have these seed. Okay? That was it on that one?
And it's not too far-fetched. Because the scripture says the Lord has put in their heart to fulfill His will.
Right. Yep,
But it ain't like, the brothers that, putting it out on a ledge and say it's a pretty good statement. They're gonna turn it.
And these Americans have been doing that, man. They've set up deals with all these other nations, and then they've undermined them. So all the history, man. So now it's time for, hey, what they say, payback is a bitch, or karma's a bitch.
Since thou hast spoiled many nations,
You shall be.
I see. Right.
It's a matter of time. That's why the scripture said the end it shall speak, and it's not going to lie, because everybody has to bow down to the fact that Yahweh Shem Shai is bringing these things to pass, man. It's on his time, you know. And now this is the time where he's gathering all the nations together. Okay, at the time we all, like the brother was saying, in the late 80s, late 80s. But now it's speaking, bro. Now, you can't get around this thing, man. You know? Okay. Yeah. Right. And I will do in thee that which I have not done. And whereunto I will not do any more the like.
Yeah, because what? Though judgment is not executed speedily, the heart of man is set in them to do evil. Roughly paraphrasing, okay? So that was not done. That judgment now it's going to be done, and it's going to be so great that it's never going to be done ever again. And the scriptures even talk about that. It shall no longer be said that the Lord led Israel out of the land of Egypt, but out of the land of the north. That's how bad it's going to be. That's how bad the destruction that's getting ready, and the judgment, I'm going to use that word, the judgment that's getting ready to come to Esau, Edom, primarily here in Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, man. This place is being systematically broken down by the Spirit of the Heavenly Father, man. The words that we're speaking through the Spirit are coming to life, man, because that breath of life entered in onto us. So we inhaled it, and now we're exhaling it, exhaling it. Okay, because hey, like the saying in the world goes, words have power. Well, guess what? The words of the Lord have power. And when we speak these words, when we speak these prophecies, they come to pass, man. That's why Ezekiel 33 and 33 says that, lo, when these things come to pass, what things? The things you spoke. Okay, the words of the Heavenly Father. Then shall they know that a prophet has been in the midst thereof.
And real quick, you know, just a side note, the Lord won't send his prophets out there if he wasn't going to bring destruction. The Lord typically sends the prophets out there when the end of a kingdom is nigh. So,
right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to bring this point out because the brother's going into it. Just I'm put this on the screen real quick just to prove it. Because where's the Valley of Yehoshaphat in the Middle East, right? Check this out. I'm not gonna click on it, but because I was looking for a different article. But here you go. It says top U.S. general warns of Iran, China, and Russia in Middle East. Go ahead and finish your thought, brother. I just want to bring that out because that's the proof right there.
Yeah, that's it. You know, and who's bringing out that information? In you know, in its rawest form, the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahshua are bringing that out, and that's how you can tell. You see, with the news that's coming out, it's all bad news. All right, it's all leading up until disaster. All right, and nothing less than that. So we're bringing this out. The Lord sends his prophets out when the end is nigh. But that was just a side note. I wanted to say that you got to Kanakla.
Hey, Jeremiah 28:8. So the Lord sent his prophets out before he destroys the kingdom. So you got to get to warn them that would make the Lord unrighteous. All right. And I got one more article to just put the this is not the one I wanted, but this is a good one. I'll put it on the screen real quick because it's pretty much the same dialogue. It says let's see where it goes. It says Russia to supply Iran, which is who? Ezekiel 38. Brothers was quoting it. I don't know if brothers haven't read it yet, but Russia to supply Iran, keyword Iran, the Persians, with advanced satellite that could track Israeli bases.
Yeah.
That's being a guard unto them, if you didn't know. Because what are they using those satellites for? From the missiles, for the missiles, to defend against the missiles, to defend against different military things that Israel could possibly do onto Iran, which is Persia or part of the Persians.
Right.
But go ahead. I had another article. I think they literally just deleted it. I had clicked on it. It wouldn't load. I refreshed it and now it's gone. But let me see if I can find it again. Go ahead, brothers.
We still got this over here. Go ahead.
According to the destruction of America, this is the book of Micah 5:10 says, "And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee, and I will destroy thy chariots, and I will cut off the cities of thy land, and throw down all thy strongholds, and I will cut off witchcraft out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers." All right, this is going to Esau, Edom, and all his wickedness, all his witchcraft. All right, this is the Lord getting ready to bring America down. All right, it says, and I will, verse 13, it says, "Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee. And thou shalt no more worship the work of thine hands, and I will pluck up the groves out of the midst of thee, so will I destroy thy cities." All right, that's going to that nuclear destruction, coming into what? Babylon the Great. All right, it says, "And I will execute vengeance in my anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard." That's going into what the brother was going into. The Lord is getting ready to bring a great destruction upon Babylon the Great. All right, and to the rest of these heathen. All right, the rest of these other different nations.
I know. You have that article up?
Yeah, I think this is the one. It's the, hold on, let me put it up. Yeah, I think this is the one. It's the Jerusalem Post, jpost.com. The top U.S. general, which is most likely a 4-star general. Oh, no, actually, this guy's a 3-star general, as you see on his shoulder and his collar. But it says the top U.S. general warns of Iran, China, and Russia and Middle East. U.S. General Kenneth McKenzie talks Iraq, Syria, Saudi Arabia, and Afghanistan. Bro, this is June 8th, 2021. This is what, 20-something days ago? If that, all right?
2 weeks.
So, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. We're not making this up. These are articles on the Jerusalem Post. God damn, it's like that. So, go ahead, brothers. I got it.
I was just thinking to myself, like it says in Joel, the Lord put His Spirit upon all flesh, as the sons and daughters be prophesying. So ultimately, you can't get around prophecy. Going to these articles, we're going into this about ultimately what a couple of days NATO is going to have a drill in the Black Sea, right where Russia and the UK ship was fighting. And going into Mediterranean last week, Russia had drills in the Mediterranean Sea. So why is this area getting so much attention when it comes to war? Because ultimately, it's prophecy. You can't get around it.
And Iran had, I don't know if it was today or Monday, but they had drills out in the Caspian Sea. They had, using their drones. They were testing drones out. They were testing missiles coming from boats. They were testing a bunch of different weapons out there. Why do nations do that? Why do you have practice? Yeah, because there's a game coming up.
That's right.
Okay? They call it war games. That's practice. That's scrimmages that they're doing in preparation for the Friday Night Lights. Okay.
Because the drills that Russia was doing last week in the Mediterranean Sea, them jets that had those doing those tests, they had hypersonic missiles on them. Those MiG fighter jets, whatever they call them, them bitches had hypersonic missiles on them. They're not just doing that for show; they're going to use them eventually.
Was it the Mediterranean Sea or Black Sea?
Mediterranean Sea. Last Friday.
Hey, real quick, because a brother just put an article out on the chat. It says supposedly that America is sending a nuclear submarine to the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah.
So the pieces on the board are being placed. You don't believe it, that's your problem. People never thought that look at Normandy and France. Nobody thought they was gonna be doing that shit at one point, but it happened. I don't know why they should keep doing this. But go ahead, brother. Slot. I don't know why.
Ariel, you had something?
No, you got it.
Okay. This is Ezekiel 38 and verse 4. It's talking about God, a God. Right? The Russians, as you know them today. Verse 4 says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
And you know, the scriptures speak, you know, in that ancient terminology, man. You know, if we modernize that today, you know, the brother was just naming all the different types of missiles, you know, so on and so forth, different type of bombers, aircraft, you know, the brother just mentioned satellite, you know, tracking, all that. Those are just shields, bucklers, and armors, man. All right, the prophets, you know, explain it, you know, during their time period. We fast forward this today, you know, we're seeing these things, you know, taking place, man. These people arming up, you know, Russia, and that's Russia once again going into this whole, you know, being a guard. That's Russia giving these small nations these things, man. Yeah. All right, let them Joel be your you know, be your agricultural tools.
Yeah.
Those are metal, all right, made out of metal. Then when you melt when you heat metal up, then you're able to beat it and form it and forge it. All right, so it's ancient terminology, man. So forge your hook. If you got a hook, you melt that bitch, you beat it straight into a spear. Now it's a dangerous weapon, man. Okay, so you go ahead and see these countries. So they're talking about war, man. They're investing in war. They're buying a certain and that's why that particular whole wars are bankers' wars, because then you got these bankers funding all the funding them all with you know, to give them money to purchase the missiles. Hey, yeah, it's a war on. But during 2020, the military budget on all the nations increased. Here it is, we're in the middle of a so-called pandemic, but the military budget of all the nations increased, and that's fact. You can look that up. In 2020, the military budget of all the nations increased. All right.
Hey, come real quick. My young, can you read that verse again?
Yeah, it says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, and will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen."
Real quick, turning back means going back to that Soviet, because you got the you go into RT and it tells you hold on, because it is a term on RT. It says former Soviet Union countries or some shit like that. So this is where this is going. That these Russia, all right, these former Russian Soviet Union states, they're coming back to Russia. Whether some people want to buck up against Russia or not, that's what's going on in Ukraine. What's the other country? Crimea. Okay, all these things are happening in those states because there's a NATO or American insurgents in there. Because really, they want to come back, as the scripture just said. So read that next verse, or keep reading on, because I got something article. Go ahead, though.
It says, "In all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords."
Right, bucklers, shields, defense weapons, and in a sword, attack weapons. Go ahead.
Verse 5, "Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet."
With shield and helmet. Who's providing them shields and helmet? It's Russia. The defense systems. It said Persia and who else? Persia and
Ethiopia and Libya.
Ethiopia and Libya. All right, countries in Africa. Which Libya, you already, I mean, shit, if we need to explain that to you, then I don't know where you've been for the last 10 years, but they need help. Because what? Babylon the Great, America, all right, the daughter of Babylon has been going around pillaging everybody. So let me pull out, okay, actually, keep going. I'm going to get to that Gomer part.
Verse 6, "Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togomar of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee."
Right. So Togomar, let's say Gomer and Togomar, or the north quarter of Togomar. It's talking about Turkey. Okay. So let me pull this up. This is an article from June 15th, 2021. It goes on the screen. And it reads, this is from Diane.org, NBC. I can't zoom in on that close, but it says Turkish-Russian relations, a puzzle that shakes the Middle East. And then you see, let me zoom in, just in case you can't see it. You see your boy Putin with the Turkish representative Erdogan, or the president Erdogan, whatever his name is. This is Tugomar and Gomer. Okay, that's that region. You see the relation. Hold on, let me zoom out. So, I mean, the prophecies is the prophecies. Now we can prove it with reality. What's going on? What's taking place on the earth? Okay, there's a reason why these things are taking place. Yeah, it's pipelines, this and that. Trying bring stability to the region, as some countries say, doing this, doing that, while other countries doing this, such as what's going on with ISIS, quote unquote. Okay, there's a reason why all this is happening, because everybody's losing respect for America, man. The Turkey used to be part of NATO. They're not fucking with NATO like that no more, as you see in this screen right here. Russia is not part of NATO. Okay, but here you go see the president of Turkey shaking hands with the president of Russia, which is the bear. Okay, or mating Gog and Magog. Okay, so go ahead, brother. Keep going, or y'all got it.
Verse 7, it says, "Be thou." Go ahead, Ariel.
No, this ain't good.
Oh, okay. Verse 7, it says, "Be thou prepared." It says, "Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them." That's that prep. So working in.
Right.
Go ahead, you got it.
I was gonna say that it's being a guard to them is, as like we said, is the missile defense systems. Okay, that's the being a guard to them, because if you're a guard, what do you do? Like let's say football. If you're a guard, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to defend. You're supposed to defend. Whether it's offense or defense, you're on offense, your part is defense, but on defense, you're still guarding, right? It's called left guard, right guard, whatever the case may be. But the point is that Russia is being a guard to them. How are they being a guard to them? It's not because they sending mass troops down there right as of this moment, but it's been happening with Turkey, Syria, okay, there, so forth. So Iran. How? Because Russia has been giving them missile defense systems, right? So that's how they're being a guard to them, and that's why America has not went back into Syria. They might shoot a couple bombs here and there, and say, "Oh, there was a military insurgents backed by Al Qaeda or the Hamas or whatever the case may be that the media pushes out." But the point is, they're not going in like they used to, because why Russia or Gog and Magog is being a guard onto these nations now? Because they have incentives to do so. All right. And now we see this unraveling as we speak. Shit, 5 years ago, it wasn't happening like this. There was things happening, but damn, now it's taken to the next level. That's why America is looking like the joke of the earth, because they can't do nothing. That's why Biden's resorting to dropping bombs on random spots, probably killing innocent people, and blaming it on Iran-backed militants. But what is Russia doing at the same time? Like we brought out earlier, they saying, "Look, y'all do this, it's going to be war." They setting up Russia and China troops are running military drills together in the China Sea, South China Sea. Okay, Russia's sending defense systems to the Middle East, as we speak. So the stage is being set for the ultimate showdown, which America is going to be forced to get into, even though they've been in there already. They still got troops in Afghanistan, Iraq, so on and so forth, Syria, okay? But they're going to be forced, because Iraq, remember when these the missiles were shot on, or the drone strikes, whatever the hell it was shot on those Iran-backed militants, right? What did Iraq say? They said this was a direct violation of Iraqi sovereignty, and that they actually declared war on American soldiers that were in their country. See, this is not going to be on mainstream media, but if you dig into the brother said the alternative media earlier, if you go into the alternative media, Iraq said, look, we declared war on the troops that are in Iraq. They didn't declare war on America. They just declared a war on the troops that were there in their country that they've been for the last 20 years. Okay, so they say we declared war on these troops that are in our land that refuse to leave, and that are to this day still bombing us. So the Middle East is these nations is getting sick of Babylon the Great, and guess what? Esau against Esau crime. It happened in the Greek Empire. It happened in the Roman Empire, and it's going to happen in the revived Roman Empire, man. Esau and Esau crime. And at this point, it's going to be with the help of these other nations, because why? Esau was stupid enough to give them the same technology that he has. Go ahead, brothers.
A quick precept for you, brother. Mark 3:26. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but half an inch.
Because that's what the Lord, that ultimately, because Esau, well, he's trying to pretend like he's the people of the Lord. So what happened to us is we got divided. You know, northern kingdom, southern kingdom split. And ultimately that brought into the demise of our people. You know, and ultimately the Lord raised up a nation to fight up against us. The Lord's doing that with Esau. You know, he said, what have thou to do? Declare my statutes. You know, Esau wants to put on that covenant, but now he couldn't uphold it. Now he's going to be destroyed. You know?
Yeah. Right. That's true, because now look, everything that he has going forward is pretty much collapsing on him. That's why he has to go to this, like the brother did live digital currency. Man. You know, everything has to go digital because this dude is losing power, man. But ultimately, this was set from the beginning, because what? Especially what has thou to do to declare my statutes? Man? You put your hand on the plow. So now you have to take up a certain. You have to take up a certain standard, man. You have to live by a certain way, which you have not done, man. Okay, the whole earth is languishing because of it. So now what? Which ultimately fulfilling prophecy. So now all the nations are coming up against you, man. See, because you're not living according to the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right.
I mean, Satan's against himself, though, man. And the scriptures clearly say it. You know, that it's divided, and his kingdom divided cannot stand. So all these things are just culminating into disaster. All right. Clearly, war is the only way out of this. You brothers got it.
All right. Going back to Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 8, it says, after many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waiting, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Right. That's what Russia is already starting to see. Russia is a cloud hovering over there in that Middle East, man, that America can't get away from. Try to go to Iran, couldn't get there because that cloud was over there. But I said, all right, well, we're gonna try to go through Syria. Nope, there was a cloud there. Okay. So then you thought your ally, good old Turkey, but Turkey didn't say, you know what? And we're gonna get these S-400s and these jets from Russia. You know, and America was butthurt, and Turkey left NATO. You know, so they've been that cloud over there. Okay. You got something you want to add up?
No. Okay. Hey, I actually did videos years backing you up of Russia actually selling S-300s to Syria. You know, right. And then making deals with Turkey for the S-400. And now that all these things are coming to pass, it's like, bro, it's prophecy is being fulfilled, man. Because they already working on S-500s, you know.
Right. Verse 10, it says, thus says the Lord power, it shall also come to pass, that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought.
And what's that evil thought? That evil thought is that bad time. Bad time is what? You look, bro, we gotta destroy this. This is the problem.
Yeah, that's one of the articles the brother brought out. That's why they're saying things like, that's why Tony's saying these things. Because that evil thought is, man,
Yeah.
it's fucking me up. I'm gonna blow them off the face of the planet. That's what I'm gonna just do. Because back a few years back, Russia wasn't talking like that. You can go 10, 15 years ago, Russia wasn't talking like that, man. They were talking about defending themselves, or we gonna do this, but now it ain't no more about defending themselves. Now they got hypersonic missiles. It ain't no more that they're building up missile defense systems like that. They're building up missiles, jets, tanks.
I mean, add on too, and them backing up Iran. But there's articles that brothers, we did lessons on. Iran has missile teams, man. So there's look, bro. Hey, look, the weak sound strong, man. Everybody has missiles, bro. Which we did lessons on before. So if there's no escaping your justice, he's done. He knows that.
Says, I'll read that again. Verse 10 says, "Thus saith the Lord power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time, shall things come to thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought, and thou shalt say," and this is what's going to come, "I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates." That's America. Unwalled villages, no bars and no gates, no defense. America is at ease. When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden and destruction cometh, man. These people have no chance in hell, man. The only defense is just launching missiles and hoping that they reach their target. But as far as the missiles coming over here and the troops coming over here, it's prophesied that it's going to happen. So you ain't stopping that. Because you have now prepared. Because you've been at rest. What does the scripture say, Revelation 8:18? The bubble chart, get that? One of you brothers? Things like verse 7 or 8. Talks about, I said, a queen and no widow shall not see no harm. So like a hurt.
Revelation 18, verse 7. How much she hath glorified herself.
Yeah, America has glorified herself as the greatest place on the planet Earth, but you've lacked one thing, and that's your defense. Okay, and what do they say in the world, in the sports world? The defense wins games, man. Yep, they win championships. Without a defense, you can score all you want. Look at the Brooklyn Nets; they ain't in the playoffs no more. Okay, go ahead.
Done. It says, "And live deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she hath said in her heart."
Yeah, so much torment and sorrow give her. Okay, and that's what these other nations, starting with Russia, is going to do. They're going to bring that sorrow to her. They're going to bring that misery. Okay, the brother quoted it earlier, because ye have spoiled, ye shall be spoiled, roughly paraphrasing. Okay, go ahead.
I sit, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see.
And you go into that word queen, it means whore. Revelation 17, it says the whore that rideth upon the beast, man. Go ahead.
And no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
Yeah, see, and no widow, and shall see no sorrow. That's what these people here in America really believe, man. That's what Edom really believes, that this place isn't going to see no sorrow. That they're not going to be touched. There ain't nobody going to invade here. They ain't never happened. Well, guess what? It's about to. Okay? Going back to Ezekiel 38, verse 11, it says, "And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates." Verse 12, "To take a spoil," if a brother wants to hold Isaiah 13, "and to take a prey." Was that out? You got it?
I got it.
It says to take the spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. So this place is getting ready to be spoiled, man. It's going to be ravished. You got that in Isaiah 13 up?
Yeah, I have it here.
God, go ahead.
Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold.
Start a little bit up.
Okay.
Where it talks about the Medes.
Yeah, that's it.
17. Okay, fine.
Behold. This is Isaiah 13 verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Verse 18, their bows also shall dash young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children.
Right, real quick, it said that I shall stir up the Medes, right?
Con.
Yeah, see, and the Medes have those nations that they're coming with, those bands of armies, man. The nations that they've been a guard to. So it ain't just going to be the Medes, the so-called Russians. It's going to be those militaries and these countries that are with that Russia has been guard on to. That's who's all coming. So the Ishmaelites that America's military has been over there raping their women and killing their sons out on the streets, okay, and killing their men and doing whatever they want to those people. They're getting ready to come over here. All those jokes you good old Trump-loving Edomites been making about the Moabites over there, about the Wuhan, guess what? They're about to come and Wuhan your ass, man. All these nations that y'all make, all these jokes calling these the Edomites coolies, guess what? They're gonna come over here and get y'all, man. They're gonna enact the judgment, the will of the Heavenly Father upon this place, man. And what does the scripture say? Because wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Okay? The wickedness has reached onto the heavens. That's why these things are going to happen over here, man. Because this is wicked central America. This is where the most abomination, what's it saying? The mother of abominations or something like that in Revelation 17. The mother of harlots. Also, some of the abominations.
They go to the back up. Mr.
Witchcraft.
Nations by our order.
Read on.
Go ahead, Ariel.
All right. And real quick, another thing it says, stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. You know, you ain't gonna be able to pay off these nations. You ain't gonna be able to pay them off. It says, reading on, go down to verse 19. It says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, complete devastation.
Right.
You want to add on to that, Ariel?
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, you said what I was going to say. Yeah, it's going to be utter annihilation, complete devastation, because what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah for their sins, they were utterly obliterated. Okay, so what's going to happen to what is known as Babylon today here in 2021, which is indeed the United States, America, and the whole Western machine, but specifically U.S. It says the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, which was overthrown with fire. And then there goes that plane on the fire again. What's that fire? That hellfire that we keep hearing about, that these Christians always talk about, you're going to burn in eternal fire. It's not talking about no hell. It's talking about when this place is utterly pelted with nukes. Okay, it's going to be, that's how the end's going to come. It's going to end with a nuclear war. That's the end game. That's the fire that's talked about in the Holy Bible. That's the fire, the hellfire that your priest and your pastor is always telling you about. It's not talking about no hell. It's talking about nuclear war. The Bible prophesies nuclear war with Russia, U.S., and all these other nations that the brothers are mentioning. Okay, this is a big deal. I'll read on a little bit more. It says, "It shall never be inhabited, never shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation." Because if you read on and several chapters in the Bible, it talks about this place is going to be just inhabited by desert creatures, birds and lizards and shit. There ain't going to be no people dwelling over here. It's going to be completely, utterly wasted. It's going to be a desert.
Yeah, it's kind of going to real quick, going to show you that it's not ancient Babylon, because ancient Babylon people still living in there. Iraq, modern day Iraq. People, ain't no desert. It's just people there. As a matter of fact, Babylon the Great, or the daughter of Babylon, is invading Iraq as we speak. The ancient Babylon. So roll that up, or put that in your pipe and smoke.
Yeah, your pipe and smoke it. It says, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. So
wait a minute. So real quick, said the Arabian will not pitch tent there. These motherfucking Arabs, the dragons of Arabia, that's where they live. They live in the desert. Yeah. That's not gonna happen in the daughter of Babylon, because it's gonna be desolate. Ain't nobody, like bro said, ain't only fucking lizards after who knows how many years, and fucking desert creatures, unclean spirits or whatever, Go ahead.
Khan, it says, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, verse 21, but wild beasts. Oh, there it is. Here's another one. It says, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and the dragons in their pleasant places, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. So it's telling you right here that this is a prophecy of what's going to happen to the United States of America. I'm going to say just like that. The United States of America, the corporate name. Okay? That's what's going to happen to this place, from sea to shining sea. All right? All the way from Seattle all the way down to the Everglades. It's going to be completely, utterly wasted. How could that be? Because of the sins that's taken place on this land. This place has taken the Israelites captive. It's went all over the whole planet Earth, and just messed with all these different nations over there, causing nothing but havoc, destroying the ozone layer, destroying the air we breathe, the oceans. All right, fake food, this whole gender crap that's been going on lately. This all started over here in America, the land of the free. They call it the land. You can do whatever you want over here. You can pray to whatever God you want to pray. There's no real limits, but you can't. You can't drive over 35 miles an hour in a residential zone. They'll throw you in jail for that, man. Yep. So this place it has a big judgment coming to it. All right, and we always talk about the kingdom of heaven and how beautiful it's going to be. Children going to be everywhere. It's going to be a beautiful place. But in order, immortality, all these beautiful things that we talk about, spiritual powers. But in order for us to achieve something like that, there has to be an enormous sacrifice. And that sacrifice is gonna be this beautiful land that everybody loves, along with all the other people that are slated to be destroyed in the last days. This is going to happen first through nuclear war, and then also through the invasion of the host of the Lord. A big day is coming, a dark and gloomy day, as the scriptures talk about. And Russia, China, U.S., Iran, these are major players in the last days. Okay, we're not talking about no Japhetic, Samoans and shit involved like that, man. Everybody, Japhet isn't part of the end day prophecies like that. People who saying that, they don't understand the scriptures. They don't understand, how to break it all down. We're going to the Medes and things like that. It's not talking about Japhet. That's not Japhet in this case. This is Esau. Esau's in those lands. Horrible things are going to happen to them, but first, before that happens, they're going to start pushing their weight around even more so than what they're doing now or around the whole earth. So that's why you're seeing things happen over here with the whole jab and just the deception and all these little proxy wars that are going on all over the place. All these articles that brothers are reading right now, people are dying, man. All right, this is leading up to something major. That's why they're trying to get all you people to get back into the army, into the military. All right, if you sign up for the military and they send your ass across seas, you could probably kiss your whole family goodbye. You're never gonna see them again.
Yeah, that's a one-way ticket right there.
Yep.
And the return trips, if you can afford it, they're gonna be canceled because they, like the brother said, man, the valley of Yahweh Shabbat is being settled, man. All right, the Lord is bringing the heathen in because why? He has a controversy with them. All right, and it's only a matter of time before he sends his son to resolve this controversy, man. It's like you got a controversy at court and you send your representative or your lawyer. Well, guess what? The Most High is going to send his son to come settle this. All right. And the men or the elect that is going to profit from the settlement is about to be paid off, and everybody else is about to be canceled, man. Everybody likes to talk about cancel culture. Well, we finna cancel your culture, man, indefinitely. You're going to get down with Yahweh Shemel Shai's program, and that's it. No ifs, ands about it. Okay?
One quick precept. It says, this is Jeremiah 25:31. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord, Yahweh, hath a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He'll give them that are wicked to the sword. So if the Lord. So the wicked is going to be given up to violence, to the sword, to his own devices, really. The nukes. Okay? He's the wicked. Who's the wicked? All right? The so-called white man is the wicked one. All right? He's the one that runs all these different nations, these big nations that are basically the forefront of the war that's about to happen. And that's happening right now. Okay, the Lord has a controversy with it, like the brother quoted. You brothers got it.
Yeah, bring out any closing scriptures, brothers got.
Yeah, I got it. This is Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 7. Zephaniah 1 verse 7, it says, "Hold thy peace at the presence of Yahweh, Bashem El Shai. The day of the Lord is at hand. The Lord hath prepared a sacrifice. He hath bid his guests." When you prepare something, it means to make ready. Think about something the king puts together. There's no compromise. Okay, the king's not going to get a no. If I want this done, it's going to be played out. So and the preparation takes place before. That's why you see a gathering being taken place. Everything that we pretty much going into earlier about the peace being put in place, and then you hit the play button. And that's what ultimately waiting for the Lord to just hit the play. And the sacrifice is going into what the slain of the Lord shall be many. So only the elect can get through this time, be able to have which is our testimony, it's the spirit of prophecy, which we held that's how we got the victory. We loved our lives unto death. That's how we got victory over Jesus. Holding on to this word, which is ultimately all we have, and that's the only thing that matters. That's what we're going into, what we're talking about, because nothing else is relevant besides power. All these games, things are going on behind the scenes. It doesn't matter, because what are you going to do in that day? It says, hold thy peace in the presence of the Lord. So when the Lord returns, all this is going to be quieted, because ultimately all we left that's standing is the elect. That's what we'll be part of.
That's right. That's right. All right, let me just check through this real quick. Okay, all right. Anything else brothers want to add?
You got it, brother.
I got it. So hey, as you see, we living in them days. The Lord is not the return of the Lord is nigh at hand. Esau's crumbling before our very eyes, not just only in America, but collectively as the Edomite people. They're divided. They're through as our people. That's how the downfall of Israel began, by being divided as nations, southern and northern kingdom. Now you see what's going on with Esau. The curses are on him, and he's through. Okay, it's only downhill for Esau from here on out. Okay, so enjoy it, rejoice, and have faith in Yahweh Shemel Shai, because his words are coming to pass. And if the things that have come to pass were written in the scriptures, then the things that haven't happened will come to pass because it's written in the scriptures by default. Okay, so the miracles, the spiritual powers, the salvation, all that is coming. Just like all these prophecies are coming back to back. So just have faith and endure, and truly believe. Have real faith. Not just lip service. Truly believe in Yahweh Shemel Shai, and he will defend you. The scriptures say, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. So if you want the Lord to fight for you in a time when it really counts, in the time of Jacob's trouble, when the missiles are coming, when the famine is here, you need to fight for the Lord right now, not when it's too late. So, with that, we're going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rafak Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutation and much love to you. Akim out there pushing out his word in true sincerity. Shalom, Akim.
Shalom.